Hey everyone, Ashley Daniels here for the Real Housewives of New York After Show, and we have two very special guests tonight, one of which is sitting to my right and very familiar face, so we will introduce them both right now, so stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Let the buzz begin, guys. Our special guest tonight brought us some booze because, you know, the buzz and AfterBuzz. No, but seriously, that was Slade. I did not make that up. He's very funny. We will introduce him in a second. I'm Ashley Daniels. You can tweet me at Ashley Daniels. And to my right tonight, I have Gretchen Christine Rossi.
Hi guys.
Who you guys can find her at Gretchen Christine on Twitter and Gretchen Christine on Instagram.
It's actually all Gretchen Rossi still.
It's all Gretchen Rossi. Excuse me, I was wrong. But thank you so much for coming tonight.
Thanks
it's so
for
awesome.
having me.
And
You know, as a Real Housewife, you have to bring booze, right?
You did. You did.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
You delivered. You freaking delivered, of course. And to her right, we have.
Hey guys, I'm Thomas Orlina. Please follow me at Thomas Orlina, and I just debuted my reality show on YouTube. Check it out. It's called Your Time with Thomas, and I'm on episode 2. It's my story about coming out, so you guys don't want to miss it.
Oh, awesome.
Nice. Congratulations. Fern Ronay here. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Fern Ronay, R-O-N-A-Y.
Yeah. And on our guest couch tonight, he's live streaming or doing something.
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live.
Facebook Live.
Oh!
We have
Jesus.
Slade.
Hi, Slade. Hi, honey.
Hi, everybody.
We've got some
Hey,
veterans
congratulations
here
on the new
tonight.
reality show, by the way.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank
Frankly,
you.
I don't have the balls to come out. So I just want to congratulate you. I think
Thank
that's
you.
freaking
Oh,
awesome.
Make sure to
God.
watch it this Friday.
You guys, okay, so they were on the Tomorrow Show. Gretchen and Slade were on the Tomorrow Show the other night, and they were a blast. They actually made the
amazing.
lights go off.
Oh, that was crazy.
They did.
amazing.
There was a power outage
We
because they showed
literally
up.
shut the whole thing down.
You did, and
Yeah.
then Maria
And
came down and turned it
turned
back on.
back on with her bright light.
Yep.
But like
Crazy.
legit,
Amazing.
Gretchen and Maria hugged.
Yeah.
The lights
Lights
came
went
on.
on.
It was crazy.
awesome.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
It was
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
So thank you
It was
for
an
making
awesome
the trek
interview.
back.
You guys did awesome.
It was you guys were great.
Thank you.
Highly
Got
entertaining.
so much
Thank you.
feedback from people saying you guys are just so
that's so
honest
sweet.
and they
Thank
loved
you.
it.
Oh, that's sweet.
So it's really cool when we bring housewives in from other housewives to talk about the show. It's
Yeah.
really interesting to see their perspective, and
Yeah.
we get like a lot of inside scoop on stuff. So this is gonna be a little different than the normal recap because we have you guys here, so we're spoiled right now. We want to ask you all these questions. Overall, I know, and we're very transparent here. All of us, including me, we were not here for the first half, a little bit of the episode, so we got filled in.
I was driving. I was stuck in traffic.
And yeah, so we're all in the same
No
thing.
way.
So, but with the part that seeing Ramona and Sonja fight over rooms, were you guys getting any deja vu? Maybe not so much you, Slade, but Gretchen, did you get any deja vu of times where you guys on the Real Housewives of Orange County fought over rooms?
You know what? It's so interesting because I feel like production always decided our rooms for us prior to getting there, and I think that they did it on purpose. But what's funny is the few times I've watched New York, I see them always fighting over rooms. So I feel like their production company's like, this is funny. They're always fighting and acting
They
like
purposely
5-year-olds.
don't do it for that season.
Yeah, I feel like they do it on purpose. Whereas with Orange County, I feel like the producers actually gave seniority, like the bigger, best room to the seniority or to whoever planned the trip.
Oh.
So whoever planned the trip gets like the best room.
Oh,
That's
so someone
interesting.
actually does plan the trip, like one of the housewives does plan
Well, I mean,
Right.
I could get in trouble for this stuff. But no,
Really?
I mean,
Can you? At this
listen,
point?
well, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yeah. But here's the thing. I mean, the fact of the matter is that what happens is production talks to the girls about like, you know, like they think of a place that they're going and then they try to find some connectivity with somebody in the cast. So like, for instance, they'll be like, oh, Lydia's from Canada, Whistler, or whatever. Let's go see her family up there, or something like that.
Right.
They always try to find some sort of reason to go to that location. At least for us, that's how it always was.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
That
The
makes
Mexico trip, were you on that trip? The one with Heather and the like all the dicks everywhere. There was like
Yes, I planned
you were
that
that
whole thing.
That was,
I was not there.
that
I was
you
not
were there,
there.
right?
Oh, you know,
Yeah. Okay,
I
I
planned the whole thing.
Yes.
I wasn't
That was
there.
I
I
had
had nothing to do with that episode.
Everything
When
to
you
do
said
with
all
that
the dicks
episode.
showed up, let's qualify that.
I just remember Heather being freaked out, lots of like
the
penises.
Mexican strippers.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
Right. So this was a little. I mean, this wasn't as crazy this episode, but we did get a lot of drunkenness from LuAnn, which was epic. And I can't imagine Watch What Happens Live tonight. They probably have so many.
Is LuAnn on there?
I don't know, but
Oh,
regardless,
but
I think they're
that's
definitely
fun.
going to feature all the falls. They have like funny
That
little
was
things they do.
hilarious.
It was
Like,
so funny.
Legit, I
We were cracking up. We were cracking up.
I almost had tears out of my eyes. Out of all the housewife things I've ever seen, like I've never seen somebody like go straight up, feet up in a bush.
Yeah.
And
Like, that was
seriously,
amazing.
do you remember them being ready and available with the alcohol as soon as you got to a trip?
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that was like their plan. Like like they have a plan. They know that they're flying you like somewhere remote. Normally it's halfway across the world, and they're making sure that you're jet lagged and tired, and that you're drinking alcohol the whole time because they just want to see fight after fight after fight.
That's a bad combo. Like even the most reasonable person,
Yeah.
tired, drunk.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm saying. They know.
It's a cocktail.
They
Never
know.
mind Ramona.
Right,
I was
right,
like, that's
right.
just bad.
And then you just have a little bit of crazy stirred in, and you're screwed.
Yeah, crazy.
I have an important question.
Yes.
Have you girls ever gone on an event or been somewhere and then had to share nipple covers?
No, I haven't yet, but there's
Not
time
yet.
for everything.
Well,
Have you
I
had
just
to?
thought they were very well prepared with nipple covers.
Why, honey,
Yeah.
have you been on a trip where you had to wear nipple covers?
I will tell you that at one point Eddie and I were fighting over a bike seat, but that's a whole different story.
Oh.
We have our host of the Real Housewives of Orange County
Yes,
after
I
show
do
over
the Real
here.
Housewives,
Oh,
so,
we got to bring you
yes.
guys back to talk more about
I
that.
can't wait for
Yeah.
you to be on it.
Oh, you're so cute.
You're
I just-
featured on it a little
I just
bit,
make
right?
like a cameo appearance.
That's
but
enough for
funny.
all the viewers.
It's funny that
miss
they're
you.
like using me in the trailer and their commercials. I'm like, really? I did one time with
That's
you
kind of
guys.
like what they did with Jill Zarin this
Yes.
season, but you know,
Yeah,
I think
seriously.
the fans are going to be happy to see you back.
You're so
You're
sweet.
you're one of the original people on it. So
Oh, you're so sweet.
Yeah.
I
Tell
love
us,
my fans.
you guys are friends with Jill Zarin and
We are, yeah.
and her husband.
Yeah.
What's his?
Bobby.
It's Bobby.
Bobby.
Yeah.
How did you guys meet? Was it one of those Bravo events?
Yeah, so I think it was a Bravo upfront, I'm sure. I mean, I can't remember exactly because we've known each other for a long
Well,
time.
between
now.
Bravo upfronts, between doing Watch What Happens Live together,
Okay.
between they used to, they take cast and actually they use talent for promotions to the advertisers.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the upfronts is part of that, but there's certain cases where an advertiser can't come to New York for the upfront event.
Okay.
And for those that don't know what upfronts are, the network is always pitching shows for the previous the next season because they're trying to secure ad dollars.
Right.
So they would send Gretchen with Phaedra, and we would go to Oregon, for example, and do what they call a cable palooza. And all of those local advertisers from that area would come and they would do meet and greets and kind of meet the talent from all the different shows. So
Yeah,
with-
so I actually met a lot of housewives through that because for some reason Bravo has loved to book me for those things, which I loved, and got to meet a lot of advertisers, and you're taking pictures with everybody and doing stuff. So I met a lot of the girls through that, but I don't remember exactly how we met Jill. But we're going out to be with Jill.
So tell
and
us
just,
about this. You're
and
gonna-
just,
we feel like we've known Jill forever too
I
because
feel like we have.
she's very close with Patty Stanger, and Patty's
We
been
are
a
having
friend.
Patty on tomorrow's show on Monday, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
That's
so
funny.
Patty predicted our
Oh
relationship.
yeah, Patty
Wow.
did.
Oh, wow, that's
You
crazy.
should ask
You
her.
should
about
ask her
that.
about our
I'm going to
relationship.
ask her that
Yeah,
on Monday.
you
That's
should.
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah,
But
she did.
that's really crazy.
So we're headed out
Jill.
to Jill's at the end of this month for her annual charity luncheon that she does.
Where's
And
that?
Hamptons party.
It's in the Hamptons.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's so fabulous.
So you gotta
I've been
fill us
wanting
in
to
on
go
that.
the last few years, but I haven't been able to make it there. So I'm super excited about going this year. I think I'm doing a web series with Us Weekly while I'm
Oh,
out
nice.
there. So there's some fun stuff going on, and I'm excited to go
That's
and join.
exciting.
Did she share anything with you about being back on the show for a couple episodes or anything about LuAnn's wedding?
You know what? We haven't talked about those things specifically, but
Okay.
I'm not going to lie. I'm excited to go back.
And ask
But we
her.
could totally
Oh my
even
God.
call her.
I
and
was
be
gonna
like,
Yeah.
hi, Jill. What
We've
did
been
you
trying to
think?
get her on the show forever, actually, which
We
is
should
really
call
funny.
her
We'll
while
call
we're
her.
sitting here.
We
While we're
should
sitting
call
here,
her.
I
We
should
should
call.
call her.
Wait, that's
Like-
hilarious.
We
Should
should
we
just
do
call
it?
her.
I
Let's
think
why
we should.
not?
I don't know if
Let's
she-
Can you
call her.
let's see if-
imagine?
You
Let's
guys
call
keep
her.
going. I'll see if,
If
she
she
picks
actually,
up.
okay, so we'll
Yeah.
keep going
Yes.
and we'll see if we
Yeah.
get Jill Zarin.
She
on.
said that
That's
she's
hilarious.
visited, so this won't be such a crazy
Yeah, she's been on
surprise. She's
AfterBuzz
tweeted
before.
us before.
Oh,
but
Yeah,
she,
yeah,
Okay,
she
so
follows
we'll
some
be
of the girls here
perfect.
too.
Yeah.
And we've had most of the housewives at this point. You've always been one of the ones that we've wanted
you're
for a
so
very
sweet.
long time. So it's really cool to have you. So talking about this crazy trip, it's very interesting to see Tinsley and all this. Tinsley's very new to the
Yes,
show, and
yes.
and you know, we've all been kind of feeling back and forth about her. Like, we don't think she shared enough, and then we're like, oh, she's kind of boring, and then we're like, oh, we really like her. But tonight she was really upset, crying over
Right.
the fact that she thought Sonja and Ramona didn't think she was a good house guest.
Right.
Did you think those were what do they call them? Crocodile tears?
Yeah, I didn't see any tears.
Did you
There
see?
was no
So
witness.
she was doing the Tamra tears.
Yeah.
Tamra
Tamra
always
tears.
does the crocodile
Oh,
tears.
right.
I don't know if you're a Tamra fan, but clearly
I'm
I'm
on the
not.
fence. She's good for reality TV.
That's true.
Yeah.
I will give you that for sure. She
Yeah.
knows how to stir that pot and
She does.
manipulate.
I
and all
think that
crap.
Tinsley just flat out was just like, I don't care about the cameras. Like, she's really thinking about her life, and it's like a raw moment for her to be really that upset, because that's really her life. Her life
Yeah.
is like press and things like that. So for her to feel disrespected, I'm glad that came out, because that's what you need to do to be on these shows.
Oh, you think it struck a nerve because she
I think it
was
struck a
already in the
nerve.
press for being arrested
Yeah.
for stalking or whatever.
Like, she's
was it?
trying so hard to.
So she was, well, her ex, was it stalking? She was stalking?
Yeah,
Is
she
that what it
like
was?
got arrested.
Yeah,
in
she got
Palm Beach
arrested.
for-
There she has a mugshot.
She has a
It's the whole
mugshot.
thing.
That's like
Wait,
her whole
she
thing.
got arrested for stalking the.
Yes.
It
And
was
he
stalking, right?
Yeah.
Correct,
Before
right?
Housewives,
Okay.
which was like such great
Yeah.
Housewives potential. I
But-
was like, she's gonna be awesome. This social
great
life,
housewife
like,
potential.
has
She has a mugshot.
Seriously,
She's so
We
different.
thought she was gonna be
She
awesome.
introduces
It's a little
herself to everybody,
underwhelming.
and she goes, "Hi, my name's Tinsley, and I have a mugshot."
Yes.
Basically, that's
Yeah.
how she
Yeah.
introduces
And
herself.
her
Okay, but-
intro, she says mugshot as well. So
Yeah.
she's claiming that
Oh,
she's.
okay.
she's
Well, good for her that she's owning it.
Yeah,
is owning
yeah.
it.
But
Yeah.
I have to ask an important catch-up question.
Sure.
Because Gretchen and I are out of the loop. So, how come she's not in her house?
She doesn't have a house.
Why?
She
So-
used to live in New York, and then she
Yeah,
moved to Florida.
right. She moved to Palm Beach or something in Florida and came back after she had a divorce, and now she's staying with Sonia.
Okay.
And
Are you
she
kidding
comes,
me?
She
To get
comes
her
from
foot off
tons.
the
She has
ground.
tons of money. The thing is,
Yeah,
like,
that's
she's.
why I'm confused.
But
Well, no.
now she's staying in a hotel. She's gonna stay in a hotel.
But this is why I'm confused.
Yeah, why?
Because the group bringing us out to Jill's, we're spending a couple nights in the city, and what did he say? You guys should stay at Tinsley's house.
No,
Oh.
no.
What did he say?
Interesting.
No, honey, we're staying with the gal from Australia.
I know,
Oh,
but
Alex?
he said Tinsley. We should stay at Tinsley's
I don't
house in
think
one of the
so.
messages.
I wouldn't be surprised if she has a house in the Hamptons because
I
she
don't-
comes from a lot of money.
I don't think so. I don't think that's what he said. But
I'm
maybe
going
I'm
back and check
maybe-
my text messages.
Check those receipts.
I
Yeah.
love it.
Yeah.
Slade,
Tinsley's
Slade
house
is like the
and-
detective of
Okay.
Bravo.
Well, I'm just
Awesome.
starting a rumor. I'm spending the night with Tinsley Morgan.
Well, you are a housewife hunter and you like to date housewives.
Wait a minute.
so-
Tell us this, Slade.
We can
Yeah.
get started.
Okay, wait. How
She's a blonde
I mean,
twink.
no disrespect. I hope you don't.
No, I'm
You're
laugh
open.
about
Yeah,
that.
I know you have a
Oh, I'm totally
great
cool.
personality. So
I'm totally cool.
Three Gretchen being the third, right? It was you dated
At
Joe,
least.
Laurie.
George.
You dated George. There's another
too.
one.
Well, I had never come out about George until
Here.
Gretchen outed me right now. Thanks, Gretchen.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Joe and Lori.
Lori,
and then me.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just kept upgrading.
I think that was it.
Oh.
Now you're at the
Those are,
highest
let's
point.
just put it that
Yeah.
they're the only three housewives that were on the show.
It's so funny
Oh.
though. You really have been there since
What?
season 1.
Look at Gretchen.
I'm so confused.
I don't either, but
We
Yeah,
caught that
season
shade.
one.
season 1. That's so crazy.
My
Yeah.
neighbor created the series.
Scott.
Yeah.
Oh, that's your neighbor.
I still remember these
Wow.
episodes. I'm having flashbacks. I'm seeing the Hummer. I'm seeing the Mercedes that
Yes.
you had. It's just I've been
Yeah.
watching
Well,
this from the
yes.
beginning.
So here's a fun fact that nobody really knows. So Scott, he's a neighbor, literally 2 houses away.
Wow.
And we had mutual friends, and he had approached me about this new show that he was creating, and it was an unscripted comedy. And he was a big fan of Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he had talked with me about doing some stuff, and I'm a big comedy fan, and was doing some stuff within the comedy space. And he's like, I really would love to have you on this show. And as we were talking, unfortunately, I don't know, a week or two later, a neighbor became very ill and ended up having brain cancer. So
gosh.
Scott had this amazing event at his home. We got people to come in and donate gifts for auction to help the family raise money. And one of the things that he put up for auction was an opportunity to be part of this show that he was creating. And so I said, you know what, I'm happy to donate. And I donated, I don't know, $3,500 or something towards the family. And he's like, okay, that's it. You got your spot on the show. You got your spot on the show. And it was really done to help a
Wow.
neighbor. But the truth is, I think I paid.
Yeah, right.
To have an appearance on the show.
participate.
And then they,
We
and
already
then they
discussed
liked
it.
him
Wow.
and Joe,
Yeah.
and then they made him like full-time cast members. So
Crazy.
technically,
Wow.
Slade was the first cast on Real
You were.
Housewives of
I was
You
the
Virginia.
definitely
original
were.
cast.
You definitely
Yeah.
were. You are the OG of the OGs of the OGs.
Right?
Even though Vicky claims that title, I think
I
it
think
might
it
have
might
been.
be it.
She's
Slade.
going to be a little jealous.
Little bit.
Yeah.
God, I have so many questions about OC, but we're at New York, so we gotta go back.
Let's go to New
Yes.
York.
All right.
Sorry.
So no, it's me. I'm just.
Get distracted.
I know. Something funny tonight. Bethany said about Ramona. She's miserable, disgusting, grabby, twat.
Ooh, that's low
She
blow.
went there.
Yeah, she went there several times.
Miserable, disgusting, grabby twat.
Yeah.
Has a nice ring.
Miserable.
So it was
That's low.
This is
Pretty
in the
low,
season
right?
where it gets really good though, because we thought for a second that Bethenny wasn't going to be filming with Ramona, and to see them together, it's like they're going to be
why
friends.
weren't they gonna be filmed? 'Cause
They got
didn't
in
like
a
each
huge
other?
fight this
Oh.
season because Ramona mentioned her daughter in like a negative way, talking about her Bethenny's nudity and her past porn experiences
shoot.
on camera, and that didn't strike well with Bethenny. But we're here now and they're together, so I think this is how it works.
I think
in
production
in
forced her
Housewives.
to invite her, honestly, because Ramona was acting like she was going no matter what. She's like, "Well, I'm going. Like this is my
kept
group."
saying
Well,
agree
It was
listen,
one of those.
Listen,
Yeah.
Not
I mean,
go.
here's the thing: when you're filming a reality show, you don't get to go, "I'm not going to film with this person." And if you start having that sort of attitude,
You're out of there.
you're gonna be done. So what, at least on Orange County, what they always used to say is, you don't have, like, you can leave or whatever, but you have to show up and you have to engage. And then if you decide, like, I'm out of here, bye.
Right.
But, like, you don't get a choice. Like, you have to be involved in filming. And this happens a lot because a lot of girls, get hit heads or butt heads. But at some point, like, you're filming a reality show. Like, you can't not film with other people. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Right.
work that way.
You
Right.
have to
Yeah.
engage. They always
Yeah.
say you have to engage.
Yeah, they say you always
But now,
have to engage.
before you go too quickly for the male audience of AfterBuzz TV, let's not glaze over the after porn experiences. Like I'm not up to speed on
Yeah.
the porn,
Oh, yeah,
the porn
yeah.
aspect of things. I
Did
mean,
they actually go into detail about that or no?
I was in the media way before they said it on the show, or around the time. So it
Yeah.
was like Cinemax. It was very like innocent, soft, like wasn't anything
She
too
owned
crazy.
it too. She said, like, I own it. Like,
Yeah,
this, I'm
she
not,
said
I'm
that
not
she
hiding
owned
anything.
it as well.
So she really,
So
She did
she
it like
did
20 years
participate
ago
in it,
when,
yeah.
when she lived in LA.
Yeah, and it
Is
was
it-
like, it wasn't porn, but it was like, it was something like
Soft
where
It
porn.
was a sexual
it was a
scene.
sexual
It was like
scene.
cinema. It was
She
like
got
a
paid to
Cinemax.
do, like,
yeah.
very
soft
sexy.
core porn?
Me, I don't know.
I
Is
don't
it
know
really
what
bad?
that even means. Softcore. I don't know what the difference. I don't
Let's
watch
investigate. Is it really bad if we send people to AfterBuzz TV and they can click on a link to find the softcore porn?
Porn. Yes, probably.
No,
but
this
I
was on
don't.
Real Housewives in New York.
But I
That
don't
Bethenny did it.
understand. Like,
I'm just trying to highlight the porn. That's-
Yeah, right, totally. He's
Porn
just
sells.
you
like you like
He's thinking about the men.
God, oh my God, this is why I can't bring him anywhere.
Yep, yep.
Hey.
This is my fault. I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is totally your
I'm
fault.
doing this for the male audience, and
Sock
porn
and
gives
mouth.
them a buzz.
Remember the other night when I said sock and mouth? That's it right now.
Okay, I'm sorry.
God.
I'm sorry. I totally was clueless because I clearly don't
Yeah.
follow
No, no,
people.
And they fought about it after, so that had happened, and then there was episodes after that where they were talking about it again, and it just didn't go well with them
Did
too.
Bethenny say why she did? Was it because of money thing? Like was she
At the
struggling?
time, she
Yeah.
was struggling.
Oh.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
like 21 at the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
So, okay, very much typical of something Ramona will do. She again asks the staff to unpack for her on this trip. She's
chick.
bossing them around.
This
At
chick.
this point, I'm surprised because she's watched herself for so many years. You would think she'd become a little more
Right.
self-aware, but she's not. Do you think that at this point she does it because she knows it gets her a lot of attention, or do you think she
I
actually
think that's a good point.
is just
I think it does.
clueless to it still?
I think she does it for a little bit of attention. That's her thing, and
It's the
this
thing.
is her
Picking the
persona on the
runs.
show. If she doesn't do
Yeah.
that, then it's like, oh, Ramona, like, what happened
What
to you?
happened to you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like being consistent throughout what she's doing.
embracing
so
it.
that's
Yeah.
my opinion.
No, I do agree with that because I mean, girls on my own cast, you see this kind of caricature of who they are in their real life come out on the show, and then you're like hanging out with them outside the show, and you're like, that's really weird because you're like nothing like what you're pretending to be on the show.
interesting.
So I think that for sure, I think once a character is developed on a show, they almost feel like they have to kind of live up to that.
Yeah.
And they have to continue with that to keep their spot on the show or whatever it is, you know?
But don't you find it interesting that the producers are so great at really casting people that have the elements of a particular character?
Yes.
So one person is highly intelligent,
Genius, yeah.
She's
They
she's
do
the
a great
business
job at
person.
it.
This person is crazy and arrogant.
Yeah.
I mean, they kind of
Yeah.
know that she has a
Yeah,
little bit
I
of
mean,
that in her.
but that's my point. It's not like it's like a total opposite of who the person is. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that they're taking who they really are and exemplifying it maybe by 10 times or whatever to really make this caricature of who they already are. So maybe it would be like, oh, just unpack my bags, but then it's like this whole big scene around
Yeah.
it as opposed to just like go get my bags or whatever.
So doing like a chemical peel right before you're filming, is that just because you're so comfortable in front of the cameras at
You
this
know,
point?
I gotta give it to her for that one. I gotta say, like, if you are that brazen to like go looking like Sonja said it best,
Yeah.
with like a pizza without its cheese or
Terrible.
whatever it was.
I thought roadkill. Was that mean? I thought
God,
roadkill.
stop.
It was really mean.
I mean, God bless her that she is that secure, honestly, to like do that. But I'm sorry, I don't think that would be a good look for me.
Yeah.
I know, and I think she
that.
just like didn't think about it. That's why I think
especially
she-
so close to a trip. You don't want to do
Yeah.
anything like that.
Yeah, it's
Crazy.
crazy. How do you not
Yeah.
think about like you?
Well, because that's why they like her, I think. 'cause she
Yeah.
doesn't care.
so
I
Doesn't
think
care,
you're right.
yeah.
The
I
Ramona
think you're
coaster.
right. I think it's just
Ramona
the
coaster,
Ramona
turtle
coaster.
time.
And I
Yeah,
think,
right.
but
Know it.
honestly, that is the reason that people do tune in, is to see just that kind of
Yeah.
crazy, wild. I mean, like Vicky's very much that on OC. It's just like she just doesn't care, and some days you're like, oh, honey, come on, you gotta care right now, like, you know. And by the way, I'm back to being friends with Vicky, and I love her.
Good.
But like, that's what's interesting, is because it makes just funny TV. Because there's some people that really don't care, and there's some people that do care.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Do you feel like there's any similarities between the relationship of Ramona and Sonja to Vicky and Tamra? In that they always seem to find their way back to each other. I'm not saying it happened this time with Ramona, with Vicky and Tamra, but it typically does.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Tamra and Vicky always seem to find a way to come back together or whatever. And but I don't know. This last time, I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see if it can be repaired on both sides, both Vicky's side and both Tamra's side. I think that Vicky, for once, kind of really saw the true colors of Tamra, and I think that she has kind of played dumb to it, or just kind of tried to ignore it before, and now she's like, wow, like she can be evil and mean and vicious. Where and interesting enough, I'm sure from Tamra's point of view, she feels the same way. So I just think it's really just a bad place for the two of them, and they're just I think the fans really want to see them get back together, but it would be interesting to see how they come back together.
I think what's
Yeah.
different this time around is that when Tamra unfollowed Brianna on social media, and it kind of created that, okay, Vicky has her daughter back, and that wedge that was like the bridge that was there is kind of not there. It's a little bit like 75-25 in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting to see if they do come back together. I don't know.
I never really understood the whole Brianna thing with Vicky,
either.
though. I mean, with Tamra, like I
think
like,
it was Brooks that had kind of
That's
kept
true.
them.
That's
it was
true.
the Brooks thing.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
But now that Brooks is
even,
gone.
But even a little before Brooks, like she always seemed to like go on Tamra's side. I'm like, it's your mom. Like I don't
Yeah.
get that. Like my mom would be so mad at me if I was like taking one of
Tamra's
her
only
enemy's
befriending
friends.
Brianna to get information about Vicky.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
right?
She does.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Do you think
sorry,
that
we're
the
totally
network?
talking about OC.
Do you think that the network
No, it's fine.
they cast that kind of person for every franchise? Like you see Sonja, and you think maybe Tamra is the Sonja of Orange County.
Yeah.
Was it Brandy for Beverly Hills? She was kind of the Sonja. It's
I do.
interesting how there's always that element, isn't it?
Oh,
I
not
do.
always.
I
Yeah.
don't think it's Sonja for New
But
York.
Sonja's
though.
not Tamra. 'Cause
Yeah,
I think
no.
that Sonja's a.
No, Sonja's
Sonja's
definitely
not.
not Tamra for New
I
York.
would say
but
I don't
I
know
get
who
what you're
Tamra
saying.
would be, but yeah, there's just
Tamra
definitely.
and Brandy were very similar.
Yeah.
I would say so. Yep.
It's like a
lot more.
recipe. It's a recipe,
It's a
and it's all the
recipe, yeah.
ingredients.
Yeah, for
and I think
sure.
what they're doing now with Peggy on OC, which is completely different from what they've done
Yeah.
before, and now with Tinsley, who they know how she is. They know that she's a little bit more fragile than some
She's
of
the
the other
Kristen
women.
Taekman. I mean,
to
they've
see,
kind of replaced her.
Yeah, exactly. To see somebody like that, it's kind of like, okay, let's see what's gonna happen.
Yeah,
they take
it's
more risk
interesting.
now than they did before.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know what we're gonna get out of Peggy though. I don't know. I mean, we only had one episode. It takes a long time to really get to know
Yeah.
somebody, but
Yeah.
I wasn't
Something
like
different.
a huge.
Yeah,
like-
it's definitely something different.
Yeah.
I was surprised when they cast her because I just didn't think they were gonna go
Well, there's so
that
many.
far different than what they've normally done.
Yeah.
But I'm
100
I would
excited.
cast
The
any of
100th
your
housewife.
friends.
Yeah.
Any of her friends, like, would be like.
Do you know how many people constantly are like, you need to have a show separately with
No,
your
because
like
they're all
friends.
super wealthy,
I know,
and they're
they're
all.
fabulous.
And
That
I
would be
actually met a lot
amazing.
of them, and they're all very, very sweet. But they all live
Lavish.
lavish
But
lives.
you
But
know,
you
I'll
know that's
tell
why
you
they
it
wouldn't
doesn't
work.
I'll
Yeah,
tell you
right.
exactly why it doesn't work, because they aren't dysfunctional. These girls are really
Yeah.
salt of the earth girls that are business people, that are beautiful, they're smart, they're you know, doing charities.
But
stuff
even
all
one
the
of them,
time.
insert just one of them in that.
Well, they were talking to Layla
know?
for a long time.
I know. She
Yeah.
she's would be great.
I thought she would be great too, but it never worked
Yeah.
out. So
I could see that, but yeah, that's where I think I see a show in and of that.
I know,
Like,
and
just that-
actually, there's a couple other
Crazy.
networks that have been looking
Oh,
at
I'm
them.
sure.
So.
It would be
That's
silly
good.
not to.
That'll be cool.
Okay. So, do we agree that Ramona always? Okay, so Ramona says that she always says what everyone else is thinking.
No.
So, do we all agree with that? No. Okay. Just checking.
I don't
Okay.
think so.
Can I ask
Okay.
what a Lee is?
Oh,
What is a Lee?
What? I don't know what a Lee is.
Hashtag what is a Lee? Let us
Hashtag
know.
what is a
Guys,
Lee?
comment on YouTube. Let us know. What is a Lee right
Somebody
now?
tell me. I was
If
thinking
you speak
maybe
turtle time, I want to know what a Lee
Yes,
is.
what is
I
a
feel
Lee?
like she was saying like it's like a leech. I feel like is what she meant to say or
Right.
something. But
She was
like,
saying
she's-
avoid it like the plague, but she said avoid it like a Lee.
Oh,
Like a
then
Lee.
then
So she was
missed-
confusing.
then I
Lee. No, but I
misconstrued.
think she was. I think she was confusing two phrases.
Like I was
and-
thinking like she was
Oh.
talking about like leeching off of somebody is what I thought she was going with.
Right,
but I don't
right.
know.
Yeah,
Maybe
she
she
just
tried
stopped.
to say leech. And then she brought up Palm Beach.
Yeah.
Is that where the stalking took place?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh.
Oh yeah,
The
Yes.
location of the
clearly.
stalking.
Yes, yes.
location.
I feel like an investigator.
All coming
Well, it's
together.
interesting that Sonja actually said that she agrees with Bethenny, that she changes in front of
Yeah, that
Ramona.
was interesting.
Did you ever feel like, and this is kind of, but it's long gone, so I can ask. Did you ever feel like you changed a little bit with Tamra?
What do you mean?
Like, did she ever kind of inspire you to be a little less?
Oh, I see what you're
you know what I
saying.
mean? Like, did you feel like you had to be somebody else around her?
No, I did not feel like I needed
Okay.
to be somebody else. However, I found myself, because she would be texting me all the time, kind of behind the scenes, like stuff about somebody.
Yeah.
And it was so easy to kind of get caught up in it.
Right.
As opposed to when I wasn't friends with her, I wasn't getting that. So, like, if she's texting me behind the scenes, oh, Alexis did this today. And I'd be like, I can't believe she did that. And not even really knowing if she did it or not, but she made it sound so horrible that I, like, got sucked into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, Tamara's, like, the queen of, like, all the behind the scenes, like, manipulating and sending texts and doing all this stuff. And, like, Lydia was actually the one after I left the show that told me, like, I can't believe you didn't know Tamara wasn't your friend. And I was like, no, look at the text of what she was sending me. And she's like, look at the text she was sending the whole group about you. And I was
And you're like, look at my best friend bracelet that we
yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So I was
How
like,
dare her.
But I was like so clueless. But again, like you said, it's probably what makes her good for TV because
Totally.
she knows how to stir that pot. But
Yeah.
I'm just not that person, and I really believe that our friendship was like
Yeah.
authentic. But I get what Sonja's saying. Sometimes there's certain people you're around that kind of pull out the side of you.
They,
They're
like,
like
influence
I'm
you.
not
They
sure
do.
I love that side of me, but for some reason they're like pulling that out of me. It's weird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think we've all felt that. I've definitely felt that.
It's
before
kind of like
with
you
some
have that
people.
friend that like influences you, and then
Yes.
you start becoming like them, and you know it's happening, but you're like, I'm just gonna write it out like
Yeah,
this, and
yes,
then when
yes.
you're away from them, you're like, okay, it's over.
Yeah,
over.
exactly.
But that's so true for life because how many times do you see people going, get the negative out of your life, put the positive in your life? And it's like, you do sometimes have to do like kind of a check of all the people that you have around you and go, okay, this is bad, cut them out
Totally.
or whatever.
We should have
Absolutely.
everybody tweet AfterBuzz TV. Do you have a two-faced Barney in your life?
Oh, Lordy.
Let us know.
Trending. It's trending on Twitter
Two-faced
now.
Barney trending.
Oh my God.
Stop.
So here's the real question: who planted the story in Page 6 tonight? Because we
Oh,
have
I have an
every
opinion
week.
about that.
I want to hear that. Every week we see another Page 6 article that becomes a storyline. Now I feel like it must be a producer, somebody just obviously maybe Bravo plants it, and then they bring it up during filming to get somebody aggravated with somebody else. I don't know. What do you guys feel? And
You
what is
guys
your?
talk because
Yeah.
I feel like
Oh
I'm
yeah,
gonna
we
do
have
that.
a
She's
very
gonna give it away at the
vocal
end. So what do we
opinion.
think beforehand?
I think it definitely
Before
was
you
a
get the answer.
producer because I don't think it was. I just don't think. It just didn't seem like it was Ramona for the exact
Bullshit.
reason.
Oh, I'm sorry.
the
Something is in my throat. I'm
No,
sorry.
it was
Right,
the
wait,
exact-
let me keep drinking.
It was the exact reason that Bethany
Right.
said it wasn't about her boob job, it wasn't about her business, it wasn't about herself. She's not.
That
she
was
doesn't
funny when
care
Bethany
enough
said
to
that.
That was funny.
plant a story about like Tinsley not being grateful. Ramona, that doesn't
Who
serve
gives? Like,
Ramona.
no one cares.
I think
Let's
it,
get
and I
paid.
don't
And the
think
show
it
Get
wasn't
paid.
even being filmed right now.
Bitch got paid.
But the
But
thing
I
was,
think
the
I
show
think it was
wasn't
a
even being
producer.
filmed at that time. So it's not like before the show came out, I had absolutely no idea who Tinsley was. Everybody acted like they knew. I had no clue.
But
who she
wait,
was.
that was posted before the show came
Well,
out?
they were filming. It was in the middle of filming, so I assumed.
Yeah, that's my point. In the middle of filming. Like
I mean, the
stuff-
show didn't. I don't think the show came out yet. Would you think that this? We're only
No, I
in-
think it was like while they were like.
think it
while
was?
they're
Yeah.
filming.
It was
During
real
production.
time.
It
It's
happened
during
during production.
production. A story came
Alright.
out,
Yeah.
and that's why it became a story on
Right.
on the show. So
Right.
that's
Right,
exactly what. it was.
right. But was the show already out? Like, did we already
Oh, I
see
know what you're
season
saying.
episode
no, but
1?
I feel like everyone who reads Page 6 is like, oh, I
Tinsley's
know
brand new.
Tinsley Mortimer. She's
Okay.
like a
Oh
prominent
yeah.
New
By the
Yorker.
way, yeah, because
She's a pretty well-known socialite.
Yeah, she's
Yeah.
a well-known socialite, and as soon as people knew that there was something
Okay.
going on, yeah,
Yeah.
it was
Alright.
all in the
Yeah, yeah,
press.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what
Because
do
she's
you?
been in
What's
the media
your?
a lot before.
You think so?
Housewives.
Okay, so I don't
Yeah.
remember from that.
Yeah.
Shit.
What do you think
So,
happened there?
Here's my thing. I had
Get
an
him, Gretchen.
experience.
Tell him. You tell him, Gretchen.
To tell you the truth, the story's a little too long. and I don't like pointing fingers, but there was an incident that happened between me and Tamara that linked back to Ramona and Page 6, and I got confirmation that Ramona was involved in it.
Ramona?
Yes.
With you?
Yes.
Interesting.
Because she had dinner
She
with
had dinner with Tamara.
and Tamara had disclosed all this information to her, and next thing you know, it's in Page 6, and then Tamara's blaming me for it, and I'm like, but you just had dinner with Ramona, told her all these things. Anyways, it was just
And
this
we, of
whole
course,
thing.
have no access to a New York
I don't.
rag.
First
Right.
of all, I barely even talk to any press
yeah.
unless I'm literally on a press line. Which, by the way, OC always used to go, Gretchen's talking to the press, and I'm just like, okay, there was an incident that happened one time, and every single housewife's phone rang, and they're like, oh, that's right, or oh, that's Us Weekly. Oh, my phone wasn't ringing.
You know what? You'll totally remember
Interesting.
this. Do you remember when Alexis showed her fashion line?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then all of a sudden Vicky was in the hospital, and everyone's standing around with their phones. And all of a sudden Tamara's going, oh, that's Radar Online that's calling me right now. Oh, that's National Enquirer, they contacted me. And like everyone's phone, you can watch the episode,
Yeah, yeah.
everyone's phones are blowing
I
up.
don't think they showed it on the episode because I don't think they wanted people to know that the press was calling girls. But I was right there and I saw the whole thing and I was like living there and I even made a joke. I was like, why isn't my phone ringing? Like my phone wasn't ringing.
Because they don't
from
have
all
our
the press.
number.
Because they don't have our number. But what's funny is that I always got blamed for like stuff going in the press, and it was like, and I've just learned with these girls that most of what they're accusing somebody else of, it's because them themselves are doing it. But
Yes,
so, anyways,
yes.
my thing is I really don't know who put this article out with Ramona and this whole thing, but it seemed like to me watching it, my opinion was that Sonja seemed pretty innocent in that, and I feel like if there was anybody that might have been involved, it might have been Ramona.
So Ramona gets paid? Is that how it works?
You know what? I don't even know. Slade can't say yes because he really doesn't know.
I didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I was
I don't know.
actually fixing my hair.
You know, to be honest, I'm not sure. It depends on what it is. I think there are certain things that do get paid.
think you
I don't
get
know if a
perks.
housewife.
You probably get perks,
gets
maybe,
paid.
and
Yeah.
it's like
Maybe,
if
yeah.
you give them a story, then they'll
I
give
mean, they
you a
want to
good
be in the
story.
press.
Yeah,
The
Like
thing
it's like
is,
a trade.
most
Oh,
of
it's a
them want to
trade.
be in
Maybe
it.
I don't know for
regardless.
sure.
Yeah.
Not all of them, but the most
I mean, that
dysfunctional
makes
ones.
sense. That makes sense.
I'd have to
that
ask my
that-
friend who works for Us Weekly.
Okay, fine.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. That would make sense if that was somebody's motive. But like for me, I
What perk am I gonna
don't want to
get?
sound bad, but I got pressed whether or not
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like
Yeah.
that already came naturally to me. So maybe that's part of the reason I had no motivation to go get pressed was
Right.
because the press was coming because of my business and because of the other things. So I didn't have any true motivation to go. I'll give you this if you give me that.
Yeah.
Like it was already happening. You know.
Right.
Right.
I think maybe in
right.
this instance, maybe it was that I'm not sure 100%, but you can't trust Ramona and Sonja because they work as such a good
little
Bonnie and
team.
Clyde team
Yes.
that they
Yep.
would both be like, okay, we're both gonna stick with this because you
Yeah.
can't change your stories. When you
Right.
have a story and you say you didn't do it, you can't change it
And some
Oh
people
no,
stay
some
quiet
people
too.
do.
until you become like Phaedra. and
Bravo
just have
loves
no
the
choice.
hypocrisy.
I was just
Right.
gonna say, or you can just like backstab your friend in 5 seconds and
Yeah.
change your story.
Right.
again.
Yeah, that's
Right.
the only other
And
option.
Sony's gonna cover up for Ramona no matter what. She's never
Yeah.
gonna throw her under the bus. Whatever
Yeah.
she says, she'll be like, oh, whatever you say, Ramona.
Yeah,
Whatever you
exactly.
say. Okay, we can all just say if we fall and we're around Ramona, she's not going to help us.
Oh my god.
So,
right?
what the heck was that? Poor LuAnn is like wasted.
She didn't even say like, oh my god, like I would have jumped down.
Right?
She like elegantly walked around. She's like, darling, take the stairs next time. And you're like, what?
So-
She like
Right?
scolded her like you thought there was a stair there, but there's not a stair there. You have to walk
I
around.
was like, who does that? She could have like broke her neck or
Yeah.
ankle or something.
Crazy.
Can we tag
What a
this
mess.
segment of AfterBuzz TV Pound Stumbleina
Yes, yes.
and then kind of go through
I
the
have
aspects of her
But I
drunkenness?
have to
Absolutely.
say though, that was the best TV ever. It was kind of like the night of my naked wasted party where everyone's like, "Oh my god, you were so
yeah,
drunk,"
Naked
and it was like
Wasted.
so fun and silly, and like it was just so raw. But like that, I love this part with LuAnn because
It's the best.
like they were saying, nobody's really seen her like that.
Yeah.
And it was
It
funny and entertaining. And
It's
by
the
the
most
way, we've
entertaining.
all been there,
Exactly.
right?
It makes
Yeah.
you even more relatable. And the
Yes.
whole countess and the wife and everything she's doing,
Oh,
that kind of just
right.
made you like her
Yes.
even more.
Yes,
Exactly.
like
Yeah.
like
It
like, and
does.
the funniest part is she fell down in the bush, and I think that she was having fun with her leg at that point.
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah,
the
she was
leg just,
enjoying
like,
it.
you know, flopping all around.
Yes,
I was
yeah.
like, I love this.
I like
right
how
now.
Ramona had the help come and help her out.
Yeah, she did not. Yeah, she called
didn't
them.
even know.
She called the help.
the
She
people.
called the help.
She's like,
Yeah.
help,
Excuse me.
help, and take my luggage and help LuAnn out of the bush, please.
But that's got to be embarrassing to dive into someone else's bush.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
you know, that right there, pound bush diver. I mean, I got T-shirts all day.
You are into the
Yes.
pound tonight.
God.
Come
That
on,
is
there's a lot of
hilarious.
correlation between pounding and bush diving.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
They're very connected.
All that was missing tonight was Dorinda. Dorinda, I don't know if you've seen it yet.
Dorinda got overshined
Dorinda
tonight.
drunk is the best Dorinda.
Oh, is she? I don't watch it now.
Awesome.
Oh, I love
That's how
it.
she talks. The best ever.
Oh, that's funny.
That would have been great, but I think it would have trumped a little bit over LuAnn. We would've
Tonight
known
was
her as
LuAnn's
much.
night for sure.
She was slurring.
Yeah.
It's
It was-
very
that
rare
was
that a
funny.
housewife kicks her own ass.
Yes, exactly.
That was funny.
Seeing Bethenny give it to Ramona, I mean, Bethenny really is just done with Ramona at this point. But it's almost like they're laughing it off a little bit. Like, they don't take each other serious.
Yeah,
Even when
I
they're getting
kinda-
reprimanded by Bethenny.
But you know what's funny? This is the one thing, I don't watch New York a lot. Like, I really only watch Beverly Hills, honestly. That's
Right.
the only one I really watch. And I don't even watch that consistently. But what I loved about watching tonight's show is I feel like with these girls, there's such a interesting connection with each one of the girls.
There is.
Like you're saying, like, it's not like hatred. It's not like I want to, like, take you down, burn your house, kill your children.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, you are annoying me in this moment and whatever. And I don't know. It's like, it's kind of
It's
like
an East Coast thing, I think.
it's like a sisterly
It's like
weird
high
love.
school.
Like it's high
like
school,
entering
but-
ninth grade and knowing that 10th, 11th, 12th, like you're all gonna be in it together. So you
Yeah.
kind of just it's interesting.
That's
I love that
interesting
you were
for me.
on it.
It is. It's
kind of
totally
like-
true. You
that was
called it.
interesting for me because with Orange County, honestly, it didn't feel like that a lot. And it's still, if you see the last few seasons,
Absolutely.
there's always like a big divide.
There is
Like,
no ebb
between-
and flow, Gretchen.
There's
No ebb and
there's
flow.
always this like, you're part of this group or you're part of this group. And like, even with Sonja, and she's like, listen, B, like, I know I get like that sometimes. Whereas Bethenny is literally calling her out. And most girls would be like, bitch, sit down, you know, and they'd be like, oh, man.
You're
can
very
we say
perceptive.
bad words on
Yeah.
this? I don't even
Bethany
know.
is called
Can you say bad
LuAnn.
words?
Yeah, you can.
Yeah.
Bethany's literally said to LuAnn, "You are a whore. You are a snake." She has said probably out of every franchise, the worst.
Things
People
that
have
you
called
could
each other
say.
worst things, and still they find
They
a way
like
to
find-
laugh it off at the end.
Isn't
It's
that
weird.
interesting?
It
I think
is.
it's an East Coast
I
thing,
think-
honestly, because I'm from Boston and we're very real to each
are
other's
you
faces.
like that? Okay.
Yeah, we
You
just
say that to
say
your
it.
friends?
I say,
listen,
you're
you
a horse
slut
snake.
monkey.
Yep, I
Yeah.
do
You're
all
like,
the time.
bitch, you
We're
kind
just
of
very
whore.
real to their face, and then it's just over in 2 seconds.
Oh,
I
see?
feel
I
like
think
the New York fights. That's why I love New York.
Jersey
they're,
too is kind of like that.
They're like a little more evolved than the other ones.
They
like
are.
they are like dissecting each other's personalities instead of like
Interesting.
what
Yeah.
somebody did
Well,
to
Carol's
somebody.
totally too.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Carol's very
I
smart. with
kind
that.
of like that dynamic.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
kind of
it's
wish
fun.
that we had that dynamic in Orange County a little
Yeah,
more.
that
'cause
would've
I
been
feel
nice,
like
right?
I just feel like it's so cutthroat. You
But
know
will-
what I
will
mean?
you
OC
use-
is definitely cutthroat.
Will you use
Yeah.
some of what you heard tonight? Like at some point in a fight, are you gonna call me a dirty, grabby bitch whore?
No, it
I
was
just-
SWAT. Get it
Oh,
straight.
oh,
Get it
Sorry.
straight.
Yep,
Sorry.
very different. And still, we think we still think so highly of Bethenny, and she
Yeah.
is like a truck driver, but
Totally.
still,
Yeah.
it's like she's always
Yeah.
on point though.
Yeah,
She
There's
makes
always
makes
that
sense.
one.
That's the
There's
thing,
always that
she
one
is.
person that drives each show. Like Bethenny, I definitely is the face of New York.
Totally.
Vicky is the face of OC.
Yep.
And I think
Lisa
Vanderpump is
Beverly
Beverly
Hills.
Hills. So there's always that
Yeah.
one person that nobody wants to
Teresa.
cross. So
Yeah.
I think that's why they soften up to these leaders or people that have been there the longest. Because
Yeah.
if you
Although I never softened up to Vicky, so I don't know if that counts.
Yeah, you didn't. You
I
Yeah,
kind
you
of always
did.
went
You
toe
had
to
to.
toe with her, but
Yeah. You
did.
but now we're friends, so that's good.
yeah, that's good.
that's
all
good.
time.
After 25 years,
I know.
finally, like we're good.
You know what though? She's grown so much just as a person and seeing
Yeah.
going through the stuff she went through. So it's cool to kind of rekindle a friendship when people are at different stages in their life.
And I feel like the people that are there the longest, they definitely go back to their original friends, like you, people that were original, because it just kind of makes them, I don't know, it makes them also feel like you guys started this together.
Yeah.
There's all these new people ahead of you, after you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's kind of nice, like Nene
Yes.
going back to Kim Zolciak, like they
Yeah.
always go back to the original people that was part of it. So
Yeah.
it's nice.
So, who in New York do you know other than Jill Zarin?
So I know Jill, Bethenny and I know each other.
Okay.
She's always been so sweet and so kind to me. When she did her own show with Ellen, I was I was like the first housewife she had on.
Oh,
so that
wow.
was
I
like
remember
fun
that.
and
Oh,
special.
nice.
And so
We've traveled with Sonja.
Oh, you
Remember
we
when
traveled?
remember the housewife tour that they had?
Yeah, but
to
that's
run?
not like we went on a vacation together.
Yeah.
We were doing the housewife
Sounds
tour.
good.
But yeah, no.
It's
and I-
something. I
By
get it. Yeah,
association.
it's something.
and honestly,
Did we not go to a specified location with Sonja
Yeah,
with her?
but you know what I mean. I mean, it's not like we were on a plane and like went and had tropical drinks.
Planes, trains, and housewives.
She didn't have tropical drinks, Slade.
Yeah, get it
Well,
straight, buddy.
her and I had something tropical.
So I don't. Oh lordy, I don't. So I don't know. I don't. We've never. Have we ever met Carole? I don't think
No,
we've met Carole.
we've never met Carole.
Haven't. I think
Kelly
I can't-
Bensimon.
Kelly.
Yes.
We met. I don't know about Dorinda. I can't remember if we met.
Not Dorinda.
But for some reason, I feel like we got connected through something, like an email or Twitter. I forget, but
Okay.
But yeah, who else is on there? LuAnn. We love LuAnn.
LuAnn.
She's always been
LuAnn's
so
awesome.
to us.
Totally.
Who else? Who else
Who
is
have
on
we?
there?
Who we
Ava
on before?
Drescher.
Aviva, yeah.
Aviva,
Aviva.
Yeah, we know
Yeah.
Aviva.
And then
Oh, Kristen Taekman or Heather
So I
so
Thompson.
I met
Kristen we met in
and
Arizona.
I think I met. I feel like I met Heather maybe at Upfronts or something.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe.
But yeah, so
Cool.
Jill's really the one that I've stayed in touch with the most. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So,
So since we kind of, unless you guys wanted to say anything else that happened in the episode, but I think we covered everything.
We're good. It was a good episode.
Let's talk.
fun.
Let's do a few minutes we have of some OC questions. If you guys have any questions that you wanted to ask Gretchen,
I'm scared,
anything or Slade,
You're
obviously.
Mr. OC man.
I
Yeah.
do. So what do you miss the most about being on Orange County, being part of the franchise, like as a full-time cast member?
Oh, that's a great
Does
question.
Nothing count? No, I'm just kidding. No, you know what? Listen, I'm so grateful and appreciative of my time on the show. I think it was a very interesting experience. I can't use the word wonderful because it
Right.
wasn't always, rainbows and butterflies. But
We missed the crew.
I love the crew.
Oh, you got close to the crew?
Yeah. I love the crew. Had a great relationship with them. Evolution, was always great to us. But I feel like probably the thing I miss the most is just connecting with my fans every week. I mean, that was really
Yeah.
special for me to really have that every single week. I feel like they're in my living room, getting to know what's going on in my life, and connecting that way. But
That's interesting because first season, sorry to interrupt, but
yeah,
the
honey.
first season you were on, which was I think season 4,
Yeah.
there was no Instagram or Twitter or anything, right? So
no.
there was no connection.
Pre-social.
No, there wasn't. It was
yeah.
pre-social. So
Crazy.
I think
Is it
actually
MySpace?
only maybe
Oh, God.
MySpace or
Yeah.
maybe
There might have been.
Twitter. No, I don't even think it was
Twitter was
Twitter.
2008. It came
Yeah.
out.
So that was right when I came
Wow.
on, right? Yeah, 2008 is right when I came on. But Twitter wasn't a thing yet. So I think I was the first housewife on Twitter. Like, not housewife, but from my franchise that was
Right.
on Twitter. So, but they still connect with me through social media, and I have this just amazing, wonderful connection to my fans, and they've been so loyal this many years
Right.
That's
later.
awesome.
And like,
Awesome.
I haven't been on the show for 3 years or however long it's been, and they're still like, come back, please come back. And I'm just like, oh, you guys are so sweet. But the thing I really don't miss is just how toxic it was. I mean, it really was toxic. Like, I would go to bed at night just crying and upset and feeling like I always had to defend.
It wasn't worth it to be in front of the cameras, have your show, have that moment.
You know what? Here's the thing. I feel like the 5 years, half a decade I was on that show, was it was a great time to be on the show. But I feel like my motivation to continue on would have strictly been focused on money and possibly, the fame that came along with it. And I don't like that my motivation was just that.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I just feel like when you start to, like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just became so toxic, and the girls would make up
It wasn't worth it anymore.
Yeah, the girls made up such vicious lies about me and Slade that I just was going around town feeling like people are looking at me and not seeing the real me, and I really wanted people to see me for the real me.
Well,
Yeah.
don't you? I
And there's other
feel like
ways.
there's a line. There's a line where you're having an opportunity to film and cover the things that are happening authentically in someone's life, and then there's that line that a lot of the women, I don't want to name any names, I wish I could, are willing to cross that line and say and do anything to stay on TV.
Yeah.
So, and it's a problem because they feel like it's necessary. They perceive that they are paid to make up lies about you or to spin stories or cause problems. And at what point does, the authenticity of the authentic aspect of the show get diluted by the fact that now these people are just doing crazy shit for TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and
But I
there
don't
is a
think
line
it
there.
fit well for you. Like, once you left, I felt like you had like, as a viewer, I felt like you had enough. Like, especially at the reunion, I knew that
By the
that
way,
was
I
like
never
your
even
it.
watched that because it
You
was
never watched
so
the reunion?
vicious.
No, she's never seen
Oh
the
my
episode.
God,
No,
you
I
looked
d-
really good.
Thank you.
It was a green dress,
Thank you.
right?
Yeah, it's the mint green
Love
dress.
that. It's like pistachio.
I couldn't
Yeah.
even
Yeah,
watch it
remember that.
because it was just, even the producers came up to me. They're like, we don't know what happened, but the girls were just out to get you. Like, they wanted to take you down.
Wow.
Like, the last month, they just wanted to take you down. And I think that part of the problem for me, honestly, was that I didn't take bullshit, and I could always call people out on their shit, and I always had some email proof, text proof, phone call proof, something, because the girls weren't smart enough to know, like, don't lie to me because I'm going to call you, I'm going to take you to task on that. And I'm just a very open, honest, raw, real person, and so when somebody is bullshitting me, I'm going to take you to task, and I'm just going to be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean you want to have Alexis at your dress shopping day? Let me show you the text where you say, I hate that bitch.
Yeah.
Remind me when...
You're basically going off their script.
I'm going off their script.
Yeah.
And my thing is that I should have known to play the game a little bit better. I would have been much better at reality TV if I played the game, but I thought it was a reality show. I thought I was being myself and being real. And so when it you know, waves so far off from that, it like I had this like moral conflict inside me, because I was like, what am I supposed to do right now? Like, I don't really feel this way, so I'm just supposed, and I'm really bad at being fake. Like, that's the one area I struggle in. Like, I can't be like, hi, oh yeah, I like you. No, I really am pissed off at you right now. But I'm actually kind of like what you said. I'm kind of like the New York way, where I'm like, if I have a feeling about you, I'm gonna be like, bitch, I don't like you right now, and this is why. But then 5 seconds later, I can be hugging you and hug it out. But I'm not going to be fake from the get-go. Like, I just don't know how to do that.
Too, I think. Nice Scorpio.
I remember this conversation because she said something very profound. She says, I feel like participating any longer in the show is completely against my moral fiber as an individual. I'm about women's empowerment. I'm about supporting other women in business. I want to create something special that's memorable, yet I'm being hired to tear down other women.
Right. That's
And
literally
it's so
what my
against
job
who
was.
I am as a person. It just,
Yeah.
there's this internal conflict happening because it's not truly who I am. And I don't care how big the paycheck is.
Right.
I'm not willing to go to that side. I'm willing to risk the money,
good for you for
risk
doing
being
that.
on TV to live up to who I am as a person.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to explain
Yeah.
earlier. That he said it perfectly. I've said it better before.
That's
but-
because I speak French.
Since we only have a minute left
Yeah.
here, what do you think about the current season? Because I think fans that are watching are probably going to want to know, what do you think about the Shannon and everything that's current?
So, I honestly, I haven't watched the episodes yet, but obviously I hear from everybody, and I'm still friends with
course.
Kelly and Vicky and Lydia and a few of the girls. So, so first of all, I said this the other night on the show. I feel bad for the position that Shannon's in. However, I don't feel bad for the fact that she always seems to blame everyone else for her problems, and that she's blaming Vicky for her weight gain.
Yeah.
I just think that's ridiculous and silly, and I don't think the fans are going to side with her on that one. They'll side with her about feeling overweight, not feeling good about yourself, because every woman goes through that, especially as they get older. You know, I think Lydia will be a breath of fresh air for the show and bring back kind of that, you know, happy dance, fun spirit. But it looks like she's gained a little bit of a voice.
Yeah.
And she has a lot more to say, which I think will be interesting and different. Peggy, I've met. She seems really cool, but I don't know if she jives with all the women. So that will be interesting to see how that plays out. Obviously, Vicky and I are back to being friends, and I love that we're in that place. I've always loved Kelly. I think she's got a fun, raw, awesome spirit, but I know that she was really trying to make amends with the girls this season, so it'll be interesting to see that dynamic. And then who else was there? Was there anybody else? Oh, Megan. I don't really know Megan. I've talked with her once, I think.
I think a lot of people were surprised that they brought her back.
Yeah,
but
I was too, actually, because from what I heard, they said that she didn't even want to be back. From what I heard.
Yeah, she didn't.
maybe she might play a crucial role later in the season, because since there is a divide, there has to be a center, and she might be the center.
But I think that's why they brought Lydia back, because they were hoping Lydia was kind of going to be like the person that brings
It seems like
everybody
Lydia's
back.
sliding off and is going to end up on the Vicky
I feel
end
like
of
that
this
too.
side.
I feel like that too.
Yeah, Lydia was very different than
She was
Lydia,
she was a little aggressive.
very, yeah.
But you know what? I got to tell you, I think that I will tell you from the production side of things. If you don't show that side of you, they're gonna go, sorry, thanks, bye bye. Like, I think that she had to amp it up and say, look, I have an opinion now. I'm gonna say stuff. So I think it will be interesting to see how the fans respond to it.
Well, come back and join us if you want to on the OC. It's Mondays, so
thank you, honey.
All right, so we don't have time for predictions, but we predict something crazy is gonna happen. Real Housewives of New York.
every week.
So we're gonna start with Slade. Where can everybody find you on social media, Slade?
They can find me at GretchenRossi.com.
Oh, you look great, Gretchen.
I am so antisocial, but I'm popping up behind in her social.
Yep, all right.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat at Fern Ronay and FernRonay.com.
Thomas Orlina.
Hey guys, I'm plugging my show, Your Time with Thomas. It's on YouTube. I've worked really hard on it. Episode 2 comes out Friday. It's about me coming out. It's a really good episode. Check it out.
Yeah.
Awesome. Hey guys, Gretchen Rossi. You can find me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at Gretchen Rossi. My Snapchat is Get Glam with G.
Ooh, nice. I like that. And what's your website? Was it?
Website is GretchenChristine.com.
Cool. Okay, awesome. And you can find me on Twitter at Ashley Daniels, and Instagram is Miss Ashley Daniels, and we will see you next week. Thanks so much for tuning in. Bye, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV Network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.